after bowling India out for 253 earlier in the day. England close the third day on 67 for 1, needing another 332 runs to go 2-0 up in the series. We'll get exclusive reaction from brilliant England fast bowler Jimmy Anderson, and Chetan Narula will discuss the big talking points of the day and the match concerning India. So plenty to come over the next 25 minutes or so. You're listening to Following On. Another remarkable day's cricket, so full of action with bat and ball and in the field, saw India resume on 28 without loss. They were bowled out for 255, and the action began early with Jimmy Anderson striking twice to remove Rohit Sharma for 13 and Yashasvi Jaiswal for 17. But Shubman Gill played a blinder of an innings for his third Test 100 to make 104. Akshar Patel made 45, but England chipped away, kept working, and Tom Hartley finished with 4 for 77, with Rian Ahmed making 3 for 88, all of which left England. Jimmy Anderson took 2 for 29 in 10 overs, but it was the tone that he set at the beginning of the day that England were able to capitalise on, all of which left England to score 399 to win in 2 and a bit days, and they made their usual flying start with Zach Crawley finishing the day on 29. Rian Ahmed, promoted to Nighthawk, came in at the fall of Ben Duckett's wicket to finish 9 not out, played almost a shot of ball. Duckett went for 28, caught bat pad off the bowling of Ravichandran Ashwin, and history suggests that England will not win this Test match, because nobody has chased this many runs in India to win a Test match ever before in the history of Test cricket. But if anybody can carry on rewriting the history books, it is this England team. Darren Gough and Steve Harmison have enjoyed this action-packed, fantastic day's cricket, and Darren Gough, it all started with Jimmy Anderson. England needed early wickets, really needed early wickets. We spoke about Yashasvi Jaiswal or Rohit Sharma batting through the day and really taking England out of the game, and he provided them. Jimmy Anderson.
Absolutely. We talked about it at the start of play, didn't we? But England, to have any chance, really need to get them out, dismiss them for 200 in that second innings, and it looked like we're on target, because Jimmy Anderson started off getting rid of Jaiswal, and Rohit Sharma was unbelievable, really, and he just summed up the class. He's been around a long time. Yes, he might be in his 40s now. He might be a tad slower than he used to be, but he puts the ball in the right areas. He makes the ball go either way, and if there's anything whatsoever in the pitch, Jimmy Anderson will find it, and he dismissed those 2 openers with 2 very well. One very good delivery, and one which we used to, getting the ball in the right areas to the left-hander and just in the drive straight into the slit.
Harmy, what is fascinating about the Indian innings is that there were some really expensive overs in there. Rian Ahmed's gone for a couple of dozen in 2 overs. Tom Hartley was also, conceded some big runs in big overs. There was 16 off and over at one stage off Rian Ahmed, and yet you look down and you go, how are they bowled out for 255? And Stokes' encouragement to the bowlers not to worry about that, because there was some, Shubman Gill scored 104 of 140 balls and was going great guns, and boundaries seem to be flowing, they're hitting sixes, and yet they're bowled out for 255, and it's just Ben Stokes saying it doesn't matter if you keep taking wickets.
We're desperate to keep taking wickets. I thought he controlled the field very, very well. Again, he had in-out fields, he had some defensive fields, and then when he needed to attack, he attacked, and he played on the side of India, looking at the scoreboard, going, what do we need? Do we need to eke out a few more? And I thought even at the end, when our Ashwin was in, a lot of captains before would have come up, third ball of the over, fourth ball of the over, and give maybe 2 or 3 boundaries away to try and get Jasprit Bumrah on strike. But Ben Stokes was like, no, we'll take one and over, we'll get 1 ball at him, we'll get one that we'll shoot, and then all of a sudden, they're not running away from us, we're not shifting momentum into their bowling fourth innings, where the tail enders have smacked a couple of boundaries and we've seen the momentum shift. So I thought all in all, in isolation, I thought it was a brilliant bowling performance by the England cricket team. I thought that, when it comes to their endeavours, they kept going. It's a third innings of a game. We've got to remember as well, Tom Hartley's played 2 test matches. Rian Ahmed's played 3 test matches. Shoaib Bashir's played 1 test match. So when I say it's an excellent performance, it is in the context with the amount of caps we've got, the inexperience that's there. Along with Anderson, I thought 255 off 78 overs. For me, that's a job well done. Unfortunately, they're that far behind the rate in the game because their inability to score runs in that first innings, and we all knew that could be the issue. But I thought England stuck out the task very well. I thought the catches were excellent. I thought the energy in the field was good, and from an inexperienced bowling apart, I thought they did their job very, very well.
Goffey, Harmy's mentioned the catching, which I thought was outstanding, and I just think that we should mention Ben Foakes' glove work as well. He's taken 3 bottom edges in this test match so far. Bottom edges off the spinner, which is supreme skill, keeping his centre of gravity low and keeping low to the ground, and just keeping the gloves in position. We also should mention Ben Stokes' catch at long off, running back to the boundary, looking over his shoulder to get rid of Shreyas Iyer. Johnny Bairstow took a very good one, low at slip, and it was just the persistence and the dogged refusal to leave the bone alone, basically from England, that paid off.
Well, exactly, and I think we've credited England for every one of them. They've turned up and they all look fit. Look a very, very fit side, England do. A couple of them that were a little bit heavy going in before the series, had to come here, and they've worked out on the fitness. Now, Ben Stokes, the surgeon, deserves a knighthood. For him to get back with the agility and the movement and the way he's run and moved in the field, I'm fascinated by it. I really, really am. He's been excellent. A great bit of fielding in the first test for that run out, and now one running over his head. What a great catch that was, by the way. And when it comes down to Foakes keeping, we talk about it many times. Unfortunately, sometimes, because the way the game is, you're always looking for a batter that can keep. But Ben Foakes gets runs. He might not do it in the style of some of the other batter keepers around the world, but he gets the job done. And behind the stumps in these conditions, he was excellent today. A poor start to the series, that first day, a bit rusty, but since then, he has been outstanding behind the stumps.
Yeah, if you had that knee surgeon, Darren, you had an extra 5 years on your career, wouldn't you, if you had that, instead of going to Germany every week to get the blood transfusions. But yeah, you're right. I think that the hard part from me, Goffey, is trying to the understanding that people don't criticise Ben Foakes when he got left out. Don't criticise that he's not. It's not because he's not a good player. You see Harry Brook all the time. You've seen Harry Brook come through. The only way that Harry Brook could get into this team was unfortunately if Johnny Bairstow kept wicket when he wasn't ready to keep wicket, but it was the right thing because we needed Johnny in the team as well. So I think Ben Foakes, he will go down at the end of his career as one of the unluckiest cricketers that he couldn't fit into the team as everybody else could, because everybody, like Darren says, wants the batter, that the keeper, that the batter can score runs. So he never lets England down, and he didn't in this game. The 2 catches were regulation catches by sight, but boy, if you speak to anybody from a keeper point of view, or anybody that's played the game at a good level, they'll say the skill level with the way them were taken was unbelievable. He took them with ease because he's a very, very, very good keeper, probably one of the best that we've ever had from a glove point of view.
I just want to point out that when he walked to the crease in England's second innings in Hyderabad, they were still 27 runs away from making India bat again, and he's added 100 with Ollie Pope. So yes, he's not the Bazball stylist that Goffey referred to, but jeepers, they were important runs, and he didn't get enough credit for them either.
No, he doesn't, and I think that was a 400-run partnership that Ben Foakes has been involved in. There was one at Edgbaston, I think, at Trent Bridge with Ben Stokes, which was a big partnership to get England in a position to win a game. There was one in New Zealand when Ben Foakes came out and there was trouble in time. When the back's against the wall, he's got character. He stands up, and when you see him behind the stumps, you don't notice him. And that, from me, is one of the biggest compliments you can pay to a wicketkeeper. When you don't notice them, it means they are doing not only their job 100% correct, they're doing it with efficiency. You notice your wicketkeepers when it's bouncing off them, or they're dropping it, and they're fumbling, and it's not looking, it's going in with hard hands. Listening to Ben Foakes keep up to the stumps, and you hear through the stump camera, it just eases into the gloves. For me, he's one of the best glovemen that I've seen for England, but unfortunately, the better batters that are around, and you've got the carrot that dangles you with Johnny Bairstow can keep wicket as well, and we've seen in Pakistan that Ollie Pope can do it. You can see why England have made the decisions with Ben Foakes in the past, but I think now he's potentially here to stay for a while.
Bit more to talk about with Darren Gough and Steve Harmison, and we're also going to hear from Jimmy Anderson in a moment. But Chetan Narula, now we should speak about this Indian team, particularly Shubman Gill. I mean, a magnificent 100 today. He did have 2 lives, if we can call it that, both on 4. He was given out LBW, and he was persuaded by his partner Shreyas Iyer to review it. And it showed that he got the thinnest of edges onto his pad, which he wasn't even aware of, because he was asked actually by Ben Foakes, did you know you hit that? And you could see him shaking his head saying no. So that was a live. He then not out Jimmy Anderson, which showed the ball hitting the top of off stump, but not enough of the ball hitting enough of the stump. So twice on 4 he's had a life, and he then a short while after that didn't throw caution to the wind, but there was a definite change. He played some more shots. He said, just be Shubman Gill, stop trying to be Shubman Gill, the test player, and he was brilliant.
Well, I think it just shows the kind of lack of confidence he had in that early part of the innings, and a batter who is in good form and good nick, and he's confident in what he's doing, would probably know, even if there's the slightest of edges, would probably know and would definitely go for that review and say, oh, you know what, I need this innings, I need to score runs, and I need to stay at the wicket and help my team score some runs. But obviously you can see the mindset he was in. But as you mentioned, yes, and we were on the call with Harmison, and we discussed, I think Shreyas Iyer, yes, he didn't score too many runs and his own position perhaps might be in jeopardy, but he helped Gill through that initial passage of play, and there was a rotating strike at that particular time. Those singles, I think, really helped calm down Gill in terms of what he was thinking at that time. And once he got settled, and I thought especially after lunch when he came out, he was a very, very different Shubman Gill. He had some runs behind his back. He'd scored a half century, which he hasn't scored at number 3. So we saw the Shubman Gill that we expect to see, and the kind of shots that he can play. He has just so much time. He's got perfect placement in when he's in full flow. So we got to see that batter that we have heard so much about. And look, he's an important cog in the wheel for India's future. India have invested in Shubman Gill, and they need to give him time to settle down in that position. He asked for it, and he's been shafted up and down. He's played a lot of domestic cricket in the middle order, and then he's moved up top, and when he came to test cricket he was a makeshift opener. Now he's asked to move at number 3 as India is preparing its future. So I think it's warranted that he was given this time. I don't know what would have happened if Virat Kohli had come back and he hadn't scored any runs, but with especially Shreyas Iyer not scoring runs and KL Rahul also primed for a comeback. But now with that 100, we know that he can be afforded that long rope and that time, and it was absolutely necessary to give him that time, and because Shubman Gill is one for the future.
He certainly is. Right, Jimmy Anderson has been speaking to Andrew McKenna. Let's hear from Jimmy.
James Anderson, another exceptional day's cricket, or in the England cricket vernacular, just a normal day at the office, I guess, for you guys.
It was a really good day. I thought, we bowled well from ball 1. There was a period, obviously, where they put in a partnership, which you expect out here on a decent wicket. But I thought the way we stuck at it, particularly the spinners, I think they've been absolutely outstanding this whole trip so far. Not much experience between them, but they just keep turning up and putting in the performances that the team needs from them, that the captain asks of them. The captain sort of jiggles the field around, but they just get on with their job, and they've done it fantastically again today.
You gave them the chance, though. That ball to get Rohit was an absolute worldie, going in and then nipping away. That's got to be up there with one of the best ones you've sent down.
Yeah, I was happy with that. Yeah, it there's been a bit in this wicket actually with the new ball in particular. So I knew that it was important that I got us off to a good start this morning and tried to put as many balls in the right place as I possibly could. And obviously, there's a bit of luck involved as well. I wasn't trying to do exactly what that ball did, but you just, as I said, you try and get enough balls in the right area and hope that one does something. And I thought I bowled really well first innings, and on another day could have got more wickets, and just happy that I could back that up in the second innings.
Mark Wood told us in Hyderabad he was only ever going to bowl 4 over spells. You've done something similar. Is that again a plan? Because when you were going so well this morning, we were a bit surprised that you didn't go a little bit longer. Is that the plan for you as well, to go short, or is it take it session by session?
Yeah, well, it wasn't in the first innings because I bowled a 6 over and 8 over spell, so it's been a little bit different for me because there's been a bit more in this wicket for the seam bowlers. But this morning we just Ben and myself sort of decided that once that early movement had gone, then it's probably the best decision to get the spinners on and then sort of save some miles in my legs, because there wasn't that much of a break between our bowling in the first innings and then bowling in the second innings, so just take its toll on the body. So we wanted to wait for it to reverse swing later on and then use me in that way.
Shubman played a big innings that obviously has had a big impact, but that LBW review, he didn't have a clue that he got a nick on that one. That was purely let's see if we can find something. If that one goes your way, that's a very, very different day, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought there was a couple of LBWs that on another day could go your way, but that's just the nature of the game. And as I said earlier, I think we stuck at our task really well. Players are allowed to play well. I think what that does do, seeing Shubman play the way he did, gives us our batters' confidence to go out there and know there's still a big score in that wicket. So if we get a couple of guys in tomorrow, play the way that we know we can play, then we've got a great chance.
What was the message from Ben between innings before you came out to bat?
No real message. I think everyone was absolutely clear on what we wanted to do. The coach said last night, even if they get 600, we're going to try and chase it down. So knowing that we've got less than 400 to chase, the guys knew exactly what their job was to do. The openers have been absolutely amazing for us in the last 18 months, 2 years. Averaging well over 50 as an opening pair. So they just know exactly what their job is. They've done it exactly, or showed us exactly what they can do going out there again. I'm lucky that Ben got out. A bit unfortunate with that dismissal, but still got us off to a great start and we're in a really good position.
Does the night hawk live? Harmy actually spotted between innings that Rayan was out having a few throwdowns and said they could be sending him out number 3 here. Was that the plan? Yeah, well, he walked off the field wanting to put his pads on, so he's really keen to get out there. And yeah, that was the plan. He was I think from about 6 overs out, he was going in to try and do his thing, and he showed in that last over as well. He wasn't going to block any out. So it's really exciting to see players who not just can do that, but actually want to go and do it and show their skills. He's now got an opportunity tomorrow to go and score some more runs. I feel like we're in a really good position. It's the dressing room's really clear on what we want to do. We're going to go out there and try and win right to the last ball. We're not going to try and draw at any stage or anything. It's literally we are winning or losing this game. There's 180 overs left in this match for you to score 330 more. If England get 330, it's not going to take 180 overs. We know that for a fact. Yeah, we'll try and do it in 60 or 70, I think, tomorrow. I think that's been the nature of the way we've played in the last couple of years, so it's going to be really exciting whatever happens. And we know that we play our best when we're playing that positive sort of cricket. We want to put pressure back onto the Indian bowlers whenever we get the opportunity. We know that they've got quality in their side, that we've seen that already in this game, but we back ourselves to try and chase anything down on any wicket. So the message for everyone back home, strap yourselves in early tomorrow. It's going to be a bumpy ride but a fun one. Well, I hope it's not too bumpy, but we're going out there to win the game. As I said, we're going to try and do it in a positive manner. So yeah, hopefully we can entertain people along the way. Enjoy. Cheers.
Darren Gough and Steve Harmison listening to that. All ears, all attention. Goughy, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's exciting, isn't it? He's all excited. He's happy he's got wickets. So he had a disappointing summer as far as taking wickets are concerned. Jimmy Anderson against Australia. Or he could have possibly retired. He wants to go out on a high. He's bowled beautifully this test match, picked up wickets, and he's talking about England there. We all know that. They want to win or lose. They're not bothered about draws. They're going to come out. They're going to enjoy themselves, play a few shots and see what happens. They're going to either fall short or they're going to win. Simple. There's no real science behind it. Play some shots, try and hit some boundaries, put pressure on India. At some point, we'll all be sat here thinking, it's a good partnership, this. Can they do it? We will be doing that tomorrow, I guarantee it. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's 100%. I didn't add too much more to what Goffey said there and what Jimmy's positive about this game. England I don't think they see 331 on the board. They see 3 sessions to bat tomorrow. And if we bat them 3 sessions, we've won the game. Because the way England's scoring rate is in this match so far, it's been 100 runs, just over 100 runs in a session. And if England can bat for the day tomorrow, England win the game for me. And that is an exciting proposition. That's what England are thinking. I'm sure Rohit Sharma, R. Ashwin and Jasper Bumrah have got something else to say about that. It's going to be a fascinating day tomorrow. But if England do get off to a good start, I think there'll be quite a few of us saying exactly what Goffey said there. Can they? Fingers crossed. Let's hope they can.
What was really interesting is when Jimmy Anderson said, I think we'll try and get them in 60 or 70 overs, and I don't think they're going to go out there and try and score at a rate to score them in 60 or 70. But Goffey, what he's saying is that the more quickly they score, the quicker they score their runs, the less wicket-taking balls they have to face.
Well, look at the runs they scored in the second innings in Hyderabad. This is a better pitch. Short boundaries straight, quick outfield. You've seen the Nighthawk came in and played shot a ball. He's going to carry on doing that exactly same tomorrow. And when you have got the quality of Root, Bairstow, who are due runs, both of them, let's be honest about it here, 2 quality players due runs, and Ben Stokes